Rekindle Learning is really about marrying the best we know about learning science and how we learn with smart technologies so that we can learn faster and build skills more efficiently. And we do this a lot in sort of corporate training environments with young people trying to upskill themselves, as well as in universities, specifically around English literacy. And I think that there's still a big question to answer about how we realize the digital economy for the range of SMEs around the continent, because we're not growing fast enough, there isn't enough scale, which means our economies aren't growing fast enough and Africa isn't becoming that global leader that we need it to be. So the digital economy discussion is really, really important. A lot of the time we stay with talk when we don't understand how to execute, and when we don't understand the value and the utility of what we're going to achieve out of it. And because tech has got this sort of sexiness, interesting cuteness about it, we kind of have the cute and interesting conversation, but we don't know how to link it to the economic and social challenges. So we'll talk about how great tech is, how great innovation is, and it's like, okay, we've done that, let's talk about the real issues. How do we deal with unemployment? How do we increase economic output? And there's a huge disconnect there because I think a lot of the decision makers are not making that connect about how that actually happens, and that's why we don't get the action on it. And it's really up to the people, I think, people who are more involved in the tech to be able to translate and explain that utility a lot more clearly. We're making a lot of assumptions that everyone understands, and I think that's far from the reality. Ultimately, I think for someone below 35, these things are going to be a lot more intuitive, and it's going to be a lot harder to explain and to really back if it's not something you intuitively understand and you don't have a sort of a gut feel about it. And that's why we need a much more diverse leadership, that we can bring those sort of ideas to the table. I believe that AfricaCom is a really great platform because it brings a lot of those digital stakeholders to the table. And if we're going to address the question about how do we organize our markets and economies better so that businesses and SMEs can grow, that digital mobile platform is one of the biggest centerpieces of that conversation. So I really look forward to trying to unpack that. And when I say solving that problem, is really about understanding how do we enable, when we talk about there being billions of people on the continent, how do we make sure that we can access that market as businesses, as SMEs? If we're not tackling that problem, we're not addressing the challenges of how businesses grow. And we need that sort of conversation happening around the table to organize our market better so that people can grow. In more developed markets, that's less of an issue. You're likely to find people in an organized way, whether it's your online searches or whatever, app stores, and there's an organization about how you will access your clients and how you will collect payment, how you'll deliver your products and services. And those are key pillars that are very fragmented in the African market, which makes it difficult to grow and scale quickly. And for me, that's the biggest reason why SMEs don't grow, not funding, but a lack of market access.